Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday the 27th of January. So let's just get my calendar together first. So we want this week, make sure I've got this week on. Right, so the calendar for today then. We've seen the manufacturing data coming out from China, which is not good at all. Really leaves the Asian sectors looking a bit on the weaker side here. Actually, it's gone back into contraction in terms of manufacturing. Services is slightly better, but not much better, and it's below, again, below forecasts and previous numbers. So these aren't good numbers for sure. Aside of that, today we've got ECB Lagarde speaking. Okay. I wouldn't worry too much about that. 10 past 8, we'll probably get the same old rhetoric, but they've been speaking, so not really much left for them to say that's not expected. 9 o'clock, we've got the German IFO business climate. Sometimes you see a little blip from that more than anything else. Swiss National Bank chairman speaking at 9:25 this evening, so that's okay, we'll let that get on. Now, if you're in the Swissy when he speaks, it's an interview by Swiss TV, but Swiss National Bank, yeah, they're a law to themselves. Anyway, that's for today. We do have the Fed meeting this week, so leading into Wednesday, Bank of Canada, the Fed there. What else we got? We got more than that, haven't we? We've got the ECB on Thursday. So it's a busy old week ahead. I'm just looking here. So I don't expect it to be a mad beginning of the week, but who knows? Anyway, right, let's get on and look at the technicals, starting off with the euro dollar. And on Friday we saw it just carry on its close up. It's broken for sure the original trend there. Structurally, we've seen a change here from the downward trend there, and it's looking a little bit more positive. It doesn't mean to say it's going to go flying forever, but it is putting these higher lows in at the moment. Personally, if I was looking at the buy side of this, I'd prefer it to be coming off towards its weekly pivot and then take a judgment of how it reacts to that. But buying just now is probably a bit early. I'm just looking at the dailies here. To be buying, I'd have to see it over the highs of the over the recent highs here, and the daily pivot through the other side, and a close above that. So there's a possibility, but I'd much rather it come back to the weekly pivot. Right, pound dollar. There. Again, actually, I didn't draw the trend line on this one. Let's just pop a trend line on there, but it's either just poked its head through, or yeah, it has. It's just closed above, just coming back to the underside of that. Structurally, it's still done the same sort of movement with the higher lows coming through here. I did have my little old descending channel on, but we can forget about that. Get rid of that. It's a bit irrelevant anyway. Yes. Right, get rid of that so it's off the screen so you can see things clearly. So you've got these higher lows coming through here. Once again, I'm going to be looking for the potential buy points into the weekly pivot. So it's the same story on either of these, and it's whichever one sits up the best. I'm not the pound's lost its dare I say shine, but it's the least interesting for me in some respects. So moving on to the US dollar yen, and well, we continue in this consolidated phase that I managed to sell into. It happens like this at times. The specific actual timing, you're never too sure of where it's going to be starting to move from, but I'm near break even on it. It's costing me a little bit on the spread because I'm short on the US dollar versus the yen, but I should just carry on holding it for now like a madman. It's in fact it's a bit of a I'm just looking at a triangular pattern that's sort of starting to form with the sort of lower highs and higher lows here, so we're getting into sort of a bit of a pinch point. At some stage this will move. Still waiting for it to break through the 50, the daily 50 and below the pivot there, and then I'll be a little bit happier. But for now I'll just leave it whatever it is. Aussie dollar, this is drifting off a little bit this morning. Again, it's done everything like the pound and the euro have done in terms of structurally changed here, but it's gone a little bit more advanced, and it's run into its daily 50 MA, and it's back below at the moment its weekly pivot. Now this, tell the two halves. Did I say weekly? Monthly pivot, beg pardon. Weekly pivot. We're nearly into the weekly pivot here. The problem, I said the problem. One thing to watch out for here. Maybe this one will be the one that hits the pivot, and everything will go off together, and they'll all bounce. But this is already almost on the pivot. The other two aren't, or two. Lower highs coming through here at the moment now. It's not looking so good, and this is sort of having a bit of an effect from the Chinese data. It will have an effect on the Australian dollar all day long. So those low figures really not helping the Aussie dollar at the moment. We could see this roll back a bit more. So not interested in buying it off its weekly pivot at the moment. I'd prefer to be buying the euro or the pound. Perhaps most likely the euro is the favourite, or it certainly is the favourite. US dollar CAD at the moment, that is. US dollar CAD, when it kindly changes, just like the yen, it's in a horrible chop here. If I was in it, I wouldn't really want to be in it. I have less faith in what direction this is going to go into. We saw a slight gap up through the Asian session there. That gap might get filled at some point, but the Canadian dollar is and the peso, if you was to be trading that, they're both currencies that are under massive risk from the potential tariffs from Trump. So I would steer clear of these, and it's near previous year, many multi-year highs or whatever else. So I would, as I say, steer away from it at this stage. New Zealand dollar very much following the Aussie. There we go. So in the same sort of picture, it's already broken through and back again through its monthly pivot there, just a smidgen away from its weekly pivot, and it's right the way through its daily here with a gap above. Now, okay, that gives us a little target up there at some stage, but at the moment it's just giving me another lower high, and it does look pretty soft here. And if you're looking for the softest one out of the Aussie and the New Zealand, often it becomes the New Zealand when we start seeing it's a race to the bottom. Anyway, at the moment it's looking soft to me. So those two commodity currencies and Canadian dollar, all the commodity currencies, they're looking on the softer side of things. Swissy, well, it's still drifting a little bit, but it's starting to form some legs there in terms of support. It again, consolidation here is in some respects. Last week it did mostly it was just either, I mean, you could draw a line through the middle there, and it's been one side or the other. It's really going a bit on the sideward side of things at the moment. You see this clearer on the dailies here, but I would be not including that in my analysis at the moment in terms of choosing the favourites. Euro yen I often cover on here, so that big bullish engulfing bar there. If anything, on the shorter time frames, it's nibbling on being a bit on the weaker side. I'm just looking through this. It's put the higher low in on the 4 hours on, and then it's come back to its weekly pivot, had a bounce, and now looking a little bit less. It's either way here. You've got It's a bit of an each way bet, which if it closes where it is and breaks the lows here, I'd be more interested in the downside. If we were to start putting in positive bars, well, maybe that would be the upside, would be the better way of things here, but not clear as it sits at the moment. So patience, more patience. I talk about patience a lot in this trading room, these updates, etc., and you would certainly need some in these markets. Right, let's have a quick look at gold. Find gold, there we go. So gold, ooh, not far away from their all-time highs there, pulling off a little bit at the moment, just having a bit of a retrace. Now this has retraced quite cleanly. Again, it's already down to the weekly pivots. Just see what happens here. Would need some sort of reversal to be buying into the two. This is really what you want to see. I mean, you saw it here, it came back, whatever else in normal circumstances, but we'll just see how it reacts this morning. All the way through its weekly, it's S1 at the moment, but it might be a swing buy. Okay, and then oil. Now I'm still sitting here short on oil. Oil to me fundamentally there's a big flaw in it, and work from the price levels where it's sitting at the moment. I think this is going to come down further. Obviously Trump's given a good reason for why it might come down some more, and it's gradually moving lower highs. I will actually move this to break even at some point, but at the moment it's tootling along nicely, and I'll just mainly keep out the way of it. I'm not wanting to get too involved in doing one thing or another. It's just doing what I'd like it to do, really. It might come up a little bit further towards its daily pivot there at some stage today, but you just got to give it breathing room. But I shall leave that on the short side. Okay, that's pretty much on the usuals. Let's quickly look at the equity market. It's down quite strong this morning, 1.6 off this morning. Chinese data certainly doesn't help things. Just shows it has a knock-on effect often. I don't know what else has been said here, but that is one hell of a gap that's left, and it's sold off quite strongly. So let's see what can happen later. See, we got a target in terms of the gap, but it really has come off here this morning. I haven't read through all my news yet to see if there was another reason for this happening, but I will do before I trade it, of course, or look to trade it, look for the buy points. But it's given the retrace that we've been looking for in the bigger scheme of things, but it's just where to actually look to buy from. The 50 and the 34 and not far away might just give some support, so it's just waiting for the support to show, and if it doesn't, well, it doesn't, but it's highly favoured the equity markets from Trump's dealings. The FTSE, well, it was off quite a bit this morning at one stage. It's catching in a bit at the moment, but a bit to and then thrown a little bit here. So from its all-time highs into Friday, it's put quite a sharp sell-off there, quite a reaction to that at the moment. But we have closed the gap. If you notice over here on the left-hand side there was a gap. We've closed that gap pretty well. Yep, we've closed the gap. Yep, gaps are closed. You can carry back on to the upside now. We'll see what develops from that. After Rachel from accounts has spoken and told everyone how good the economy is now, we should be okay. Sorry, there was a large amount of sarcasm in that comment. Just sorry, looking at the German DAX. So it's okay. So German DAX coming off here as well from all-time highs on Friday. Again, we're seeing pretty much the same throughout here. That gap's not quite close. We've got a gap to head up for the DAX at some point. Just need some reversals. Needs to see some traction gained on all these equity markets. Right, I shall leave you there. I wish you a great day's trading, and I'll catch you tomorrow morning. Take care. Bye for now.